Thank you.
You were born on the 5th of September 1968.
No, that date is confusing. Yeah, don't say the birth. Yeah, I don't know my own birthday. So some say September 5th, some say 10th March. Both are not true.
All right.
I was born somewhere in November.
Yeah. Well, nevertheless, you were
Born in 1968. Yes. Okay.
In Darjeeling, India.
Yeah.
The region called Smartlands. That is correct.
Yes.
So, where did your parents come from?
My parents came from Tibet. Both came from the eastern part of Tibet called Kham. So my mother was only 17 years old, but my father was in his 30s. So they fled Tibet with 80,000 Tibetans, and they followed His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and they came to India after Tibet was occupied by People's Republic of China.
So the occupation was the reason for their fleeing?
Oh yes. And Tibet saw a lot of death and destruction. 98% of Tibetan monasteries and nunneries were destroyed. 99% of monks and nuns were disrobed, not allowed to practice Buddhism and religion. And it's estimated that around 1 million Tibetans died during and after the occupation of Tibet.
That's really sad. And how did your parents actually manage to get to India? Was it easy to flee?
Well, it's a long story, but my father was in a refugee camp, and my mother happened to be in the refugee camp, so that's where they met. And then I was born.
So, and what were the beginnings of your parents' stay in India like?
Tough, difficult, no, because both of them did not speak Indian languages, and your home, your country is no more, and you have to start your life all over in India in a very difficult position. But they were hardworking people, so they did what they could, on a daily basis. So, grew up quite poor because we had, 1 acre of land and a couple of cows, things like that, yeah. So.
That's really hard. And what are your childhood memories like?
No, as a child, you're innocent, so whatever you have, you are complain about it, and you enjoy it. So you go to forest to cut wood, you go to forest to cut grass for your cows. So my mother used to make corn, not popcorn, but it doesn't pop that much. So you put in 2 pockets, and then you eat popcorn while climbing the mountain of the forest, and then you go down several kilometers and get wood or get grass for your cows and come back. So even those popcorn was a reward and a good incentive for me to work hard. So that's how I used to spend my winter vacation. So even in refugee school, the facilities are quite poor. So you eat rice and lentil soup every day for dinner for 10 years. But even now, lentil soup and rice taste very good for me. Yeah.
It's nice to hear. And you mentioned the refugee school.
Yeah.
You yourself have graduated at university in Delhi and afterwards Harvard. So you must have been an excellent student. Did you enjoy your study?
No, once you're a refugee, you always think you don't have plan B. You don't have fallback plan. So what you do is work hard, and then, I always believe if you do well today, tomorrow will be better. If you study hard this year, next year will be better. So I went with that thinking, and from refugee school to Delhi University to, Harvard Law School. So, maybe my IQ level is relatively okay, But I also worked very, very hard. So hard work paid off.
So, and in 2011, you were elected the Prime Minister of the Tibetan Exile Government. And in 2012, you got the second title. So what is your main mission in this position as the Prime Minister of Tibetan Exile Government?
Yeah, to fulfill the aspirations of Tibetans in Tibet, and also to fulfill the dream of my late father, who always wanted to return to Tibet, and he could not, he passed away. So my mother still dreams of going back, and Tibetans in Tibet still think and wish to see His Holiness the Dalai Lama back in Tibet. So I constantly remind myself that I could not fulfill my father's dream, but I'll do the best I can to fulfill the dreams and aspirations of 6 million Tibetans in Tibet. They're still waiting and longing to see His Holiness the Dalai Lama back in Tibet. So that's my job. But one can keep trying, and one should keep trying.
And is it difficult to fulfill this dream, to accomplish it in today's business-oriented world?
No, it was difficult, you know. It has been difficult for the last 60 years, and it will continue to be difficult. But nonetheless, you take this challenge because, you know, in life, if you're not faced with challenges, what's the meaning of life, you know? And I'm given a very difficult job, and then, you know, if you look at it from a glass half full, not half empty point of view, then, you know, I'm given a very good adventure and very good challenge that not many people can have, you know. If you want to be a leader, you're supposed to handle, solve problems. And if I'm given a very difficult challenge, all the more reasons, you know, I should dig deep down and be the leader one can be. So this is a good challenge on the one hand. Because you always look for purpose in life. You always say, you know, you meet any child, when you go to any school, you always say, you must have a purpose in life. You must be someone. My purpose is already there, you know, and if I can fulfill it, it will be an accomplishment for a country, for a number of people, and for the whole world, because our success will be success of non-violence and success of peace. And we will be continuing the Václav Havel's vision, you know, continuing the Velvet Revolution. You succeed peacefully and non-violently, you know. So we write another chapter in world history, saying, yes, Václav Havel did it, a Nobel laureate. His Holiness the Dalai Lama did it, another Nobel laureate. That's how you write history.
And when did this life mission reveal to you? Was it obvious to you as a child that this was your purpose in life, or did you
Now, as a child, you know, you always, you know, you're told by your parents, by your school teachers, by elders, that you have to serve your cause. You have to be a freedom fighter. You have to contribute for the Tibetan struggle. So, and then it was always there at the back of my head that I should do something for a cause, but I never thought I'll be the president and, you know, holding the highest office. But here I am. Yeah, I'm in my second term. It's, you know, 7 years being completed, so I have 3 more years to go. So far, yeah, I've fulfilled more than I promised. Normally, politicians are not able to fulfill all the promises, but I fulfilled more than I promised. But the biggest challenge still remains. That is restoring freedom for Tibetans in Tibet.
Next year, the 60th anniversary of the Lhasa uprising shall be commemorated. So what does this anniversary mean to you personally?
You know, next year is the 60th anniversary of Tibetan national uprising, because in 1959, thousands of Tibetans gathered in Lhasa and surrounded Norbulingka and Potala Palace, urging His Holiness Dalai Lama not to go to the nearby military camp where they will be hosting an entertainment, and Tibetans feared that His Holiness Dalai Lama might be taken as hostage. And after intense days and weeks, His Holiness Dalai Lama decided to flee Tibet and come to India. And then he has been exiled since. So it's a sad reminder that we are still in exile for 60 years. We're still political refugees, and His Holiness Dalai Lama has not fulfilled his wish to go back. And 6 million Tibetans still remain divided after 60 years. But on the other hand, it is also a 60 years resilience. Despite all the efforts to destroy Tibetan civilization, Tibetan culture, Tibetan identity, the Chinese government has not succeeded. Our civilization is strong, culture is strong, our identity is strong, inside and outside Tibet. Politically, our sense of unity and solidarity with Tibet inside Tibet is also very strong. So that is why 152 Tibetans have committed self-immolation. They have burned themselves. These are the people who have never met His Holiness Dalai Lama, who never met me. But they are second and third generation of Tibetans who still have the passion, who still have the dedication, who still feel that what's happening in Tibet is unjust, that repression is so severe that it's unacceptable, and hence they're protesting in the form of burning oneself. So politically, we are still active, we are still standing. So it doesn't matter how powerful the punches the Chinese government throw at us, we've been receiving those punches but still getting up and fighting for our cause, non-violently and peacefully. Because we are the people from the mountains, so we have the mountain spirit. So we are still standing, and so in that sense, we are strong. So this also, narrative of resilience, that despite all the efforts by the Chinese government, we are still standing. I'm still talking to you today. So that's the message of non-violence and peace.
Do you think self-immolation is considered to be a non-violent act?
Self-immolation is a violent death because you're burning yourself. So is it a violent death? Yes. But is it violence? No. Because when you define violence, you have to harm or hurt someone. Then it's violence. Self-immolators, they hurt themselves, but they don't harm anybody, not even a single Chinese person or a property. So it's a violent death, but it's not violence.
So, what message would you like to pass on to Czech people on this occasion for Tibetan?
Yeah, I've been in Czech Republic a few times. I know late President Václav Havel was a great man who stood up for justice, who did not accept injustice. Despite all the hardship that he went through, he kept fighting. Hence the Czech spirit is very much reflected in Václav Havel and all those people who fought to restore democracy in Czech Republic. And Václav Havel was also a good friend of His Holiness Dalai Lama. They thought alike, and one of the very first president of a country to receive His Holiness Dalai Lama right here. So hence, people of the Czech Republic has long history of supporting the cause of Tibet and Tibetan people, for which we are very, very appreciative, because the good people of Czech Republic are the ones because of which we are still standing. And because of people of Czech Republic, Chinese government is still wondering, what can we do to persuade the world not to believe the Tibetans, but to believe the Chinese government? So no matter how much money they spend, how much political influence they try. They have not succeeded in Czech Republic, you know. And because why? People of Czech Republic believe in certain values which are fundamental to human beings. Justice, freedom, democracy, human rights. These are fundamental values that is enshrined in the Czech constitution, but more importantly embedded in the conscience of Czech people. You know, that's very important. So on behalf of all the Tibetans, I want to say thank you to this great country and loving and generous people of this country. And this year is the 60th anniversary of being in exile. So we have dedicated this year also as thank you year. Because for 60 years we've been in exile. On the one hand, we are still in exile. On the other hand, this reflects our resilience, that we're still here because of support of people around the world and the very loving people of Czech Republic. So I just want to say to all the people in the Czech Republic, like your movement, like you succeeded against all odds, like you once you did not believe that Czech Republic could be free, could be independent from the Soviet Union. Same way we are told, and we the Tibetans are looked at as saying, oh, you have no chance, it's not going to happen. But all we want to do is, like the Czech Republic, we want to revive that same story. We want to rewrite the same story and say, Czech did it, Tibetans will do it again. And we will rewrite the whole chapter again. And that will be a success of non-violence and justice. And that will be because of good people of Czech Republic. So thank you very much.
Thank you. According to the prophecy, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is to live to see free Tibet. Do you yourself believe this prophecy in the country?
Absolutely.
That
Where is Soviet Union?
The Dalai Lama shall live the free Tibet.
Where is Soviet Union? Where is Berlin Wall? It just happened during our lifetime, So, non-violent movement succeeds because it has succeeded before, it will succeed. So His Holiness' wish to go back to Tibet will happen. When that happens, then everybody will say, oh, I thought it would never happen, but it happened. It's all right. We'll make it happen. Together we'll march forward.
Shall not be part of this interview.
Okay.
It shall be used in the documentary.
Okay.
And the question is, why do you believe that today's world is not taking so much concern about what is going on in Tibet as much as it should? It is possibly because the world is more oriented towards business, there are lobby parties and so on. What's your opinion on that subject?
And on the one hand, that has always been a reality. When you're a good and nice guy, you are ignored, because we are peaceful, we are non-violent, we are not aggressive, things like that. And sometimes you are ignored. But then ultimately good guys prevail. So at the moment, it's Chinese money, Chinese military power, Chinese business, and their political influence is trying to curtail the voices of Tibetans. And hence, some leaders in various countries find it more convenient to make money with China. But now soon they are realizing they are not making money from China, but China is making money from you. So that the realization is there, and because of the realization, there's interest for Tibet as well. But it has always been the case, the David and Goliath, and the good and the bad, At times it looks seemingly impossible, but then good guys prevail in the end. So we don't feel ignored. We just feel we have to keep fighting our cause non-violently, peacefully. Thank you.